Hi everyone, I'm Victoria Repa. I'm the founder and CEO of BetterMe, a health and wellness platform that started from a small Facebook blog and grew into a global platform with millions of users. And trust me, when I started, I have very little experience in tech or building a business. What I did have through was a problem I wanted to solve and a desire to create something that would help people lead healthier lives. So if you are sitting there thinking, I'd love to start something, but I don't have money, followers, or a big team behind me, you're exactly where I once was. I'm not promising overnight success here, but I'll share the tools and mindset shifts that help me and my team build better me, and that help you start your journey too. Today, we'll talk about a growth mindset, how to think like an entrepreneur before you even start, finding your niche, how to choose an idea that's not only meaningful to you, but also profitable. Simple ways to attract your first audience without big budgets. Different types of digital products you can create from what you already know, and the subscription business model, how to build recurring revenue and loyal community around your brand. By the end of this video, you will have a clear roadmap and, what's even more important, the confidence to take your first steps toward building an online business from scratch. When I first started building my brand, I honestly thought the hardest part would be learning marketing or figuring out the Instagram algorithm. But pretty quickly, I realized that the hardest part wasn't out there, it was in my head. Every time a post got no reactions or product didn't take off, that little inner voice would start saying that I was just not good at this. And let me tell you, that voice is more dangerous than any paid launch. That's why the very first thing I want to talk about is the growth mindset. So, what does a growth mindset actually mean? In simple terms, it's believing that you can learn and get better, that talent is something you are just born with. Sounds nice in theory, right? Just believe in yourself and keep going. But we all know that in reality, it's not always that easy. I found a few simple principles that help me move from knowing about growth mindset to actually living it. And I'd like to share those principles with you. The first principles, and one of the foundation of a growth mindset, is learning to separate who you are from what you do. It's something almost every beginner struggles with, me included. When something doesn't work, our first instinct is to take it personally. When my post flops, it feels like I'm the failure. The truth is, if your numbers go down, it just means your numbers went down. That's it. Not that you are unworthy, boring, or cut out for entrepreneurship. Your business is a project, an important one, yes, but it doesn't define who you are as a person. Because once you start trying your self-worth to your results, every small dip feels like a personal defeat. And let me tell you, ups and downs are guaranteed. You will have launches that disappoint you, posts that get no traction, and slow months. It happened to everyone, even to people who look wildly successful on social media. The moment you truly separate your value as a person and your business results, everything gets easier. You'll bounce back faster, stay more focused, and actually enjoy the process of building. So, write these two phrases down. Is your new mantra for the days when self-doubt kills. My business isn't me. My results don't define me. The next principles is start simple, then improve. When you believe you can get better, you don't wait for perfect conditions. You start with what you have, where you are. If you look at anyone successful today, creators, founders, entrepreneurs, almost none of them started big. Take Mr. Beast for example. He's one of the biggest YouTubers in the world today. Yet his early videos were filmed probably in his bedroom with minimal editing or production. He kept learning and improving with every upload. Now he has over 445 million subscribers. That's what consistency looks like. So when you're just starting out, don't overcomplicate it. Start with the simplest version of your idea. This can look like a few Instagram stories filmed on your phone, one digital product, and one clear offer. That's already a solid start. Then, as you gain experience, you add more layers. If there's one thing I've learned after years in business is this: simplicity is what scales. So be ready to do simple things for a long time. That's how you become the next Mr. Beast or BetterMe in your niche. Moving to principle number 3. What feels difficult today will eventually feel easy. When you are just starting out, everything feels like climbing Everest. Filming one story takes hours. You overthink every word and wonder if anyone even cares. But every time you show up, you're training your brain to make it easier next time. That's literally how habits form, by doing the things over and over until it becomes second nature. When I first started promoting my brand on Instagram, everything felt awkward. Talking on camera, writing posts, finding different ways to package an idea, all of it. But over time, I got easier. Not because I suddenly became confident, but because I kept practicing. So if feel clumsy right now, good. It means you are learning. Keep showing up and try to make it fun. Give yourself small rewards or tie it to something you already enjoy. For example, film your stories while having your morning coffee. That way, it feels like a part of your routine, not another task on your to-do list. The easier it feels emotionally, the faster it becomes a habit. Because in the end, consistency is what turns struggle into skill. This next principle is one of my favorites. A pause is part of the music. Sometimes you are in great rhythm, posting consistently, working on your product every day, feeling in flow, and then life happens. You get sick, busy, or just lose motivation for a bit. And that's when most people think, I've blown it. I have to start all over again. But think about it. The effort you already put, it doesn't just disappear. The skills, the audience you built, they are all still here. So when you come back, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. It's just like music. Every song has pauses. Without them, it wouldn't be music. It would just be noise. Your business works the same way. Breaks don't ruin your progress. They just part of the process. So if you have taken a pause, don't beat yourself up. Come back when you are ready to even better make the pause itself part of your content. Share why you stepped away and what you learned. That kind of honesty is what people connect with most. The next principle is simple but powerful. Treat your mistakes like data. Too many budding entrepreneurs with great ideas freeze up because they are scared to mess up. Mistakes are literally how we learn. Everyone who builds something that works has a trail of failed ideas behind them. When you change how you look at mistake, you'll see that in fact they give you information you didn't have before. This offer didn't sell. Okay, maybe timing of the message was off. That post didn't work. Great, now you know what to test next. That feedback is incredibly valuable because it tells you what not to repeat. And that's how you grow faster. You mess up and you move one step closer to getting it right. Another trap that goes hand in hand with fearing mistake is perfectionism. Perfectionism makes you think in extremes. It's either perfect or terrible. But real life doesn't really work like that. Between bad and good, there's 1,000 shades of progress. Let's say you plan to film 3 reels but only made one. The perfectionist brain says, I failed. The fact says you still made one, and one is always better than zero. So, if you're someone who always demands a 10 out of 10, try living at 6 out of 10 instead. 6 out of 10 done consistently beats 10 out of 10 once in a while. If I catch myself thinking I'm failing, I take a step back and remember that just a thought, not a fact. The two small things help me look at the bigger picture. First, write down the facts. Like list what I actually did. When you see it's on paper, it's usually way more than your brain gives you credit for. And second, set good enough limits. For instance, when I'm editing post, I set a timer for 30 minutes. And when it's up, it's done. This trains your brain to value completion over perfection. The final principle is this: whatever is happening right now, it's not the end point. Everything changes. When things get tough, it's so easy to think that it's always be this way. It won't. Every business, every creator goes through cycles: growth, plateau, deep rebound. You've definitely heard it before, but it's worth repeating. The only constant in business and life is change. I've had plenty of those dips. Deals fell through, posts got no engagement, and at one point, I even questioned if my idea had future. But those moments were never the end. With time, new ideas worked, new people showed up, and things started moving again. And from experience, I can tell you this: the size of your challenges often matches the size of the growth that comes next. So when you feel stuck, remind yourself, this isn't the final chapter. It's just one page in the story. Now let's quickly recap all principles and how together they make a growth mindset. 1. A growth mindset starts with separating your self-worth from your results. You can make mistakes and still be capable of learning and improving. 2. A growth mindset means you don't wait for perfect. You start small and let progress teach you what works. 3. Believing that skills develop with time, effort, and repetition is the heart of growth. 4. Give yourself permission to pause because a break is a part of the process, just like pauses are part of the song. 5. Instead of fearing failure, use it as feedback. Every wrong move teaches you what to do next. 6. Realize that good enough done consistently beats perfect done once. 7. Remember that everything changes. The tough moments never last forever. Now that you've got the right mindset, let's put it into action. So we are going to part 2, find your niche. The first real business decision you make is choosing your niche, and this decision will determine whether you struggle for years or start seeing results in months. First thing first, ask yourself, if someone said your name online, what's the first things that would pop into people's heads? If you are not sure, that's exactly what we are fixing right now. That instant association is your niche. It's what ties everything you create together, your videos, your offers, and your whole brand. A few years ago, you could post a little bit of everything: travel, food, your morning coffee, and still make money off it. But that era is over. These days, there are just too many voices online. And if your message is bad, it gets lost in the scroll. Think about your favorite creator. You can probably describe them in one quick line. Move with Nicole, Pilates. Ali Abdal, productivity. Tony Robbins, personal growth and business. That quick mental shortcut is the power of a niche. It's how people remember you. And the first things you need to know is that most every successful niche lives inside one of the 3 big markets. Health, helping people feel or look better. Wealth, helping them make or manage money. And relationships, helping them connect, love, or belong. And inside those big markets, people are really chasing the same 4 needs. time, money, sex, and approval. That's what we actually buy. We want to save time, make money, feel attractive, or just feel okay about ourselves and where we are in life. Every product, every service, every piece of content taps into at least one of those needs. So when you're defining your niche, don't stop at I'll talk about fitness or I'll talk about marketing. Ask yourself, which human driver I'm actually tapping into. Because once you know that, your content hits something primal. And that's when people really start listening. Take my Victoria Repa page as an example. This is a place where I talk about fitness, nutrition, and simple at-home workouts that anyone can do. This page is so successful because the niche I choose literally checks all the boxes. The content I share saves people time, quick meal prep, 10-minute workouts, and no commute to the gym. It saves money since you don't need to equipment, expensive meal plans, or membership. It builds confidence because you start feeling stronger, eating better, and taking control of your health. And it creates belonging because when fitness and nutrition feel achievable, people think this is for someone like me. I can belong here. Okay, guys, we've zoomed out to look at the big picture. Now let's zoom in and see which niches are actually profitable right now and will stay that way through 2026. And the first one is AI. Not exactly a surprise, but there is a reason it's at the top. Using ChatGPT for work, creating AI tools, teaching AI skills, really anything AI related is blowing up. People don't want to fall behind or waste time and money doing what AI can do faster. Number two is health, beauty, and fitness. People want to look better, feel better, and live longer. This need will always be relevant and will always be in high demand. Number three is social media growth. Every business in 2026 needs social media to get customers, build credibility, and stay relevant. And with over 57% of Gen Z dreaming of becoming influencer or content creators, the demand for this knowledge is exploding. So if you can teach people how to grow faster on Instagram or TikTok, edit better or master reels, you never run out of viewers. Okay, the next niche is I want to highlight is self-development, and it's one of the most evergreen markets out there. People will always struggle with their mindset, their productivity, their habits, and their time. When you teach manifestation, psychology, or time management, you're not just selling information, you're selling hope, progress, self-acceptance, and the belief that change is possible. And people will pay for that. All right, niche number 5 is what we call reality content. These are videos like moving to the countryside, renovating my apartment, a day in the life of a single mom. People love real stories because they offer something we are craving, escape and inspiration. Whether someone's living their life you want or going through the same struggles you are, this type of content lets you feel less alone and more hopeful about your own path. The business model here is brilliant. Once someone starts following your journey, they hooked. They want updates. They care about the outcomes. And when you recommend something or launch a product, they listen because they trust you. Brands recognize this too, which is why they love partnering with creators who have that authentic connection with their audience. And finally, the classics, humor and travel. Humor works because we relate through laughter, and travel works because everyone dreams of getting away. Even if people can't really go anywhere right now, they still love seeing the world through your eyes. So once again, these are the niches where the money, attention, and growth are heading in 2025 and 2026. AI, health, beauty, and fitness, social media growth, self-development, reality content, humor, and finally travel. Okay, Knowing which niches are profitable is a great start. But how do you actually choose the one you click with? Do you just go for whatever trending and call it a day? Well, not exactly. Your online business is not a one-night stand. It's not a summer thing. It's a long-term committed relationship. If you are not really genuinely interested, you'll burn out fast. Chasing trends feels exciting for a few weeks, but later it turns into a job you hate. So, the first things you need to think about is picking something you actually enjoy. Something you talk about even no one paid you. That's how you stay committed for months and years to come. Now, that doesn't mean you can't experiment or combine your niche with something that's trending. A fitness coach can use AI tools, a business creator can mix in some psychology. Borrowing trends actually keeps your content fresh without making you someone you are not. And it often sparks new ideas for future digital products too. Alright, the next step is finding your niche, is interviewing yourself. It's a simple exercise. I personally used to connect the dots between what I know and what I love, and what actually people need. Ask yourself these four questions. First, what have I done at work? Your career, your project, that's a real experience people value. Second, what are my hobbies or obsessions? The things you just can't stop reading or watching, that's pure gold. If you love it, you'll never run out of content. Like, for example, for me, it's golf. Golf taught me focus, goal setting, consistency. And it gives me stories, metaphors, and insight I can talk about in the business content I post on my Victoria Repa page. And the best part is that I don't have to take enthusiasm because it's something I genuinely love. Okay, now the third question is, what do people ask my advice on? Those repeat questions from friends and coworkers reveal how people already see your strengths. And if they are asking, there are probably an audience for it online. Last but not least, ask yourself, what problems have I solved for myself? Maybe you lost weight, paid off debt, or overcame anxiety. If you fix it for yourself, you can teach it to someone else. So as you can see, your niche lives right in the middle of where you want to know meets, what you love, and what people need. The next step is to decide who you actually want to attract. Before you think about content ideas, start with people. Do you want to target moms, musicians, skincare fans? Once you know your audience, the content almost writes itself. For example, back in April, I decided I wanted to attract more entrepreneurs. So I asked myself, okay, what kind of content would speak to them? I tested mindset posts, business tips, motivation, and just watched what worked and what didn't. So, your process should be pick your people, create content that speaks directly to them, test, learn, adjust. And if you are still not sure who your people are, I have a little hack for you. Find a creator, admire in your space, and start by modeling them. Not copy, but study what they post, what get engagement, and what feels authentic. Now listen, I can give you niche ideas all day, but here's what actually separates people who make money online from those who don't. A simple system for choosing, validating, and scaling their niche. Most beginners waste years trying to figure this out on their own, pivoting every few weeks, creating content nobody sees, and wondering why nothing working. I don't want that to be you. That's why I created my Start and Scale Your Online Business course. It's the exact step-by-step process I wish I had when I started those years ago. Inside, I teach you how to nail down your business idea in under a week, make sure people actually want what you are selling before you create it. Launch and promote your first offer fast using nothing but Instagram, all explained in a simple way. For complete beginners with no audience, no experience, no tech skills, and no big budget. I'm literally sharing the same playbook that took me from a zero to a six-figure business. So check the link in the description if you want to stop waiting for the moment you finally feel ready and start taking real action today. So we are going to our part 3, digital product business. All right, let's keep it moving. Here's what happens to most people. They pick their niche, they start showing up on social media, posting consistently, and then reality hits. Okay, but how do I turn this into actual income? That's where digital products come in. And I'm about to break down exactly how to build them from scratch. Because right now, you're putting in the work. You're creating content, learning the platform, trying to grow. But every time you scroll, it looks like everyone else is 10 steps ahead. They've got courses, downloadable guides, full product lines. Meanwhile, you're starting at your screen like, what am I even supposed to create? Trust me, I get it. For a long time, I wanted to build something, but couldn't connect the dots into a real product. So now we are going to shake off that I don't know where to start energy and walk through the process together step by step. From finding your first idea to testing it quickly to building a simple product later, okay? The first step to figuring out what to sell isn't somewhere out there is the market. It's within you. Before you scroll or study the market, ask yourself, what is my life has given me the biggest result? What I'm the best case study for? For me, it was starting a business. That's why I proved to myself that I could actually create results. And also things like discipline, building systems, growing a team, all became part of my story too. And I get it. It's not always easy to see those wins right away. They are part of your everyday life, so they can feel too small or too obvious. You need a bit of outside perspective. Remember, when we talk about interviewing yourself to choose your niche, those questions about what your nature good at, what transformation you experience, what advice people always ask you for, that exact same framework works for finding your first product idea. The only difference, now we are getting specific. We are looking for concrete wins, real results, actual breakthrough you've had that someone else would pay to learn. Do this, and you will have real product ideas based on results you actually achieved. Step 2 is to follow your attention. Notice what naturally pulls you in. The videos you end up binging, the books or podcasts you keep coming back to, the topics that sneak into dinner conversation. Personally, I've always been drawn to growth. How people build systems, scale small ideas, stay productive, and blend fitness with tech. That curiosity turned into BetterMe, and that's the knowledge I'm sharing now. So literally, check your screen time, open your phone or YouTube history and see what categories take most of your time. And look at what you save on Instagram, TikTok or Pinterest. Those patterns will tell you what excites or inspires you. Step 3 is follow your energy, not just the opportunity. Don't ask yourself, what can I sell? Ask, what problem would I happily solve on a Saturday night, even if no one paid me? You can't build a business around something that feels like homework. You'll burn out before you ever get momentum. Step 4 in this self-reflection process is my favorite. Your audience is often you, just a few steps back. Think about the version of yourself 2, 5, maybe 10 years ago. What did you need back then? What would you have saved your time, stress, or frustration? For me, it was a clear roadmap to start a business. I would have given anything for someone to tell me here's where to begin, here's what matters, here's what to ignore. I would have paid good money for that. And honestly, That realization is what led me to create my Start and Scale course. I built what I wish I've had. So right now, there are people standing exactly where you once stood. They follow you because they want a piece of what you already figured out. And if you can show them that bridge, you've got a product. Here's a quick exercise you can do right now. Write down 3 past versions of yourself 1 year ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago. Next to each one, note the biggest challenge you had at that time. For example, if 3 years ago you were struggling to lose weight and figure out home workouts, that past version of you is your ideal customer. What did you need? Maybe it was a simple routine, finding time to work out, or eating better without a strict diet. Each one of those struggles become your potential products. All right, guys. You already looked inward to understand yourself better. Now it's time to look outward and your audience. I always recommend doing simple audience research before you do anything business related. In startup language, it's called customer development. Fancy term, but really it just means talking to people. And the simplest way to do is to drop a few question stickers in your stories and ask people things like, why do you follow me? What are you struggling with right now? If I made something paid, what would you want it to solve? Your audience will literally give you a ton of product ideas that they actually need. Okay, and the final perspective that's missing is scanning the market and looking at your competitors. You have to see what products already exist in your niche, what formats they use, like courses, PDFs, and challenges, and which ones are getting traction from what you can see on social media. Most beginners think they need to invent something totally new, but in reality, if no one's selling anything like your idea, that's usually a red flag. So don't worry if your idea already exists. That's proof there is demand. You just need to bring your own voice, your twist, and your way of delivering it. And once you have an idea, the next step is testing it small. Don't rent a studio straight away or spend months writing 20 lessons. Start with the simplest version possible. A 1 hour Zoom workshop, a quick template, or 2-page PDF. At this point, the goal is to see if anyone cares. If people lean in, ask questions, or buy, you are onto something. If they don't, great. You just saved yourself months of working for nothing. That's exactly how BetterMe started. Small, scrappy tests. And each yes gave me and the team the confidence to build the bigger version. Now, before we get into the product ladder, let's talk about 2 types of products. The one you can scale and the ones you can. The unscalable kind is tied to your time. One-on-one coaching, consultation, training session. You can raise your price, sure, but at some point you hit a ceiling. There are only so many hours a day. Scalable products are different. You build them once and sell them to as many people as you want. Courses, challenges, memberships, webinars, even apps. Think of makeup artists. They can do clients' makeup one by one, or they can create a course called Pro Makeup at Home. One limits your income, the other grows with your audience. Most people start with one-on-one work to learn, test, and really get to know their audience. Then, as demand grows, they shift to scalable products. But there is no one right order. If you already have a great idea, you can absolutely start with a digital product from day one. The choice you make is completely up to you. And finally, we've made it to the product ladder. What is it, you might ask? Well, it's basically just a lineup of products you sell at different price points, from free all the way up to your most premium offer. The beauty of this structure is that it lets people start small and invest more as they get to know and trust you. And here's how I recommend setting it up. Start with a freebie, also known as a lead magnet. This could be a guide, a checklist, a mini training, a free consultation. Even your Instagram post can work as lead magnets. The goal here is simple. People get to experience your style and see if you actually deliver value before risking any money. It's basically like a test drive. The golden rule of any lead magnet is that it should help your audience get a small, tangible results. You want them to think, if the free stuff is this good, imagine the paid one. Okay. Next, create a low-cost product, something between $7 and $30, like a 7-day challenge, a mini course, a template pack, or a short workshop. This step is crucial because it breaks the biggest psychological barrier, turning followers into paying customers. Once someone buys from you once, even something small, they're way more likely to buy from you again. That's how you go from being someone they follow to someone they buy from. And finally, your main offer, also known as your flagship product. This is your signature course, program, or membership. And this is where you invest the most time, energy, and depth. By this point, people trust you because they have experienced your lead magnet and gotten results from your low-cost products, so they are ready to go all in. I walk through how to create each of these step by step with examples inside my Start and Scale Your Online Business course. So make sure to check out that link below. And now we are going to part 4, subscription business model. Okay, so let's say you've got a product to sell. Maybe it's a course, an ebook, a template pack, whatever you decide. The question is, do you want to sell it once or do you want to get paid for it every single month? Because here's the thing, a one-time product means one-time income. You make the sale, you move on, and then you back to hustling for the next customer. But a subscription, that's recurring revenue. Some products, but now people pay you $20 or $30 every month instead of $300 once. And honestly, it's easier for people to say yes to things monthly payment feel less risky than a big upfront cost. Plus, the biggest benefit of a subscription product is that you don't need to be perfect before you launch. Instead of creating 30 lessons and spending 6 to 12 months working on it, you can start with a few videos and add content each month. With a subscription club, you are building as you go. Now, another $1 million question is, what does a subscription club actually need? It's actually just 3 simple things. Core content, like your main material people get access to. A regular live session, these are weekly or monthly calls where they connect with you. And community, like a private Instagram channel or WhatsApp group where members support each other and have direct access to you, the creator. And if you already have a course, that's even better. You can turn it into your core content at live calls and community, and boom, you've got a subscription club ready to be launched. And the easiest way to set this up, BetterMe Creator Platform. Add your content, create your app in a few clicks, and sell everything in one place. Simple as that. I recommend starting with a simple $1 product first, like an ebook or checklist. See if there are actual demand before you build out the full subscription. Once people are buying that, you know you've got something worth scaling. Inside the Start and Scale Your Online Business course, I'm talking about retention triggers, exactly how to structure your offers, pricing strategy, the psychology behind why people stay subscribed, and all the insider tips from building subscription product at BetterMe that generated millions in recurring revenue. If you want the full playbook, I've got the link ready for you in the description below. All right, you now know the full path from mindset to niche, from content to product, from one-time sales to predictable growth. None of this happens overnight, but every small steps builds momentum. Start small, stay consistent, keep learning from your audience, and trust that you'll figure things out along the way. I probably said these things 100 times during this video, but it's true. That's the only way to build something big and meaningful. Thank you for sticking around. If you want to learn how to actually promote your products for free using simple Instagram posts and the exact strategies top influencers use to start profitable blogs with zero investment, click the next video. Hope to see you soon there.